Yo, Kendall. Yerp. Let's get the party started. First day back, yes sir. Um, is the mic good? Let me know if the mic is good. Let me know if the music is too loud or anything. Let me know if you know, that part. Let me know if everything is good. Just gonna give everybody a few more minutes to join and then we will get started. I just posted the link on Instagram. I posted it on X. Um, looks like everybody is fucking sleeping. So I'm gonna put it again in Discord. For those watching the recording of it, you guys already know if you have any questions, anything you guys want me to go over, something that if you have a question that you need a lot of explanations for, you could always message me on Discord. For those watching the session, seems like Kendall's the only one that's here right now. Always on time, bro. Always on time. Might not be active, but he's always on time. Um, Give me a second. We have about another 3 minutes to join. We'll start at 7:10. So once again, this is the isolation session. This is the session where we go over the pairs that we trade. The pairs that we trade on the right hand side with a red flag next to their name. We're going to be going in order from the top to the bottom, starting off with AUD/USD, finishing off with silver. Um, since the new month started, we'll go to the daily time frame. We'll see if we need to update our daily continuations, see our daily highs, daily lows, do the same thing on the 4 hour time frame, 4 hour highs, 4 hour lows, see if we have any continuations, do the same thing on the 30 minute, 30 minute highs, 30 minute lows, look for the continuations. All right, let's get started. Once again, if we don't have anybody active on the live session, then I'm gonna just make this pretty much better for the people watching the recording, since we have a few people doing that. I'll go through everything that we need to go through, so should be a pretty quick session if we don't really have any questions in the chat. Shouldn't take us longer than 35 minutes. We're already at the 12-minute mark for the stream, so on stream it should be about 40 minutes, but realistically speaking, we should be done pretty quick. So AU, we know we are in level 3 on a downtrend. Price gave us the break of the second zone of consolidation that gave us a lower low. Price came up. We're at the equal highs where we're right back at the top of the zone of consolidation, the same way we were here, same place we were here, right? So at this point, at these highs, we already know this is our safety trade at the top of the zone of consolidation. This is our point of interest as to where we could be expecting price to start turning around and making lower lows and lower highs to continue the downtrend push. Again, same thing we've been saying for the last couple weeks. Um, we did finish on a third month rise as well, but we know we have a gap in the market, resets the trend. Price could continue the price to the top side, right? And what we've been talking about for the last couple days, last couple weeks on AU, even though price is in our safety trade area, even though price is at your point of interest, does that mean get into a trade right away? No. There's some traders that trade like that. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're a swing trader. They're like, oh, it's in my point of interest. I'm just gonna have a wide stop loss. They'll put it. Let's say they get into a trade here, or let's do it simple, right? They're in the daily highs. They'll get in when price taps into their daily highs, and they'll have a stop loss above the area. Maybe they'll put a little bit higher from the previous highs, which are up here. So their stop loss is going to be anywhere between 37 pips and 76 pips, right? And they're swing trading, right? So they'll have that wide of a stop loss, and they'll be targeting back to the lows, right? So this is different trading styles, right? Different entry rules for different trading styles, right? So what am I looking for at this moment? I'm looking for price to start making lower lows and lower highs, and the area and the time frame that we're going to see that move is going to be on the lower time frames. Once you go down to the 4-hour, once you go down to the 30-minute. On the 4-hour time frame, price gave us another week of no net. Once again, price just moving sideways at this point. Price gave us a higher high point on the 4-hour time frame. We're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Instead of giving us a simple higher low to continue into a higher high, it gave us a zone of consolidation on the lower time frames. Just moving sideways, gave us another push to the top of the previous 4-hour high. Didn't tap into it, didn't give us an inducement. What do we know? Right now, price is just moving sideways. Right? Price came to the top side, went back to the bottom. Why is this important to see on the 4-hour? And we have no continuations on the 4-hour time frame either, right? Again, just 2 weeks of price moving sideways. We're still trading higher high, higher low. Why is that important to know? Because when you go down into the 30-minute time frame, if price, and I'll draw this out so we could understand visually everything what we're talking about. On the higher time frames, we're making higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Higher low. When price moves from a higher high into a higher low point, what do we see price doing on the lower time frames, right? So if the 4-hour time frame or the daily time frame is doing higher highs and higher lows, right? On the internal time frame, what you're seeing is price. Let me delete that. I was thinking about doing something else, but I'll just draw it out like this. On the lower time frame, you're seeing price do this: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right? When price is trending up on the 4-hour, when it's making boom, 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 right? Let's take a step back here. I didn't want to do this, so it's not like confusing for people, but it's the only way that this would make sense. This is the 30-minute time frame. Price making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And then it starts making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right? Then price again on the 4-hour time frame. Just so you guys could understand. Right? So when we go down into the lower time frame, when price is moving from a higher high point into a higher low point, what do we see on structure? Structure is going to start making lower lows and lower highs, right? Higher high, higher high, boom, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right, so let's, told you guys, I'm gonna draw this out and I'm gonna keep it here, but there's way too much on my screens. It's giving me a headache. No way. We already have multiple streams with this shit on here. And I can't do another session like this. No way. There's too much drawn out here. Right, so what do we know about structure? In order for us to confirm that the trend has shifted from an uptrend to a downtrend or vice versa, from a downtrend to an uptrend, we first want to see the change of character, which is the first lower low point after price is making higher highs, higher lows, right? So it gave us higher high, higher high, boom, lower low, change of character, lower high. Then price opened with a gap, market open, Sunday, 7 p.m., first day of the week, open with a huge gap to the bottom. Would I classify this as a break? No, for two reasons. Reason number one, just because one candle printed below does not mean it's a break. This is still an inducement. Above everything else, why wouldn't I, even if price would have given us clean break of these lows, there's two reasons why I wouldn't classify this as a break of structure, and I would wait for the next cycle. Could you, anybody in the chat, it's only Kendall, why wouldn't I classify this as a break of structure? And there's two reasons why. Right, so one of the reasons is 800 EMA, absolutely correct. Right, why else would I still not trade this, saying that, oh, this is a lower high, this is, and then we're going to keep going back down? There's one more reason as to why, well, there's three reasons, but I mean, the second reason is really the number one that you really want to look at. There's only two real rules here, but we could say there's three. There's three reasons here in total why I wouldn't say this isn't a valid break. But that one rule that I'm talking about that you're missing, right? The 800 EMA is correct. You're missing one more rule. That one rule trumps everything else overall. So, just gay, to be honest? All right, bro. Two reasons. What's the second reason? I'll let you answer. Go ahead. You have the 800 EMA, which 100%. The 800 EMA respects, or I'm sorry, price respects the 800. Price respects the 800 EMA. Right. So the second reason. What time is it? Where's the timer at? 2015. I'll give you 30 seconds. If you don't give me the answer in 30 seconds, I'll answer it myself. It's all good. Because of the gap, exactly. That rule itself trumps it all. The fact that price moved so quick to the bottom, right? Yes, even though it printed below, the fact that price opened with such a big gap, that's also known, or it's also known as an imbalance in the market. And price has to fill that imbalance before it starts to trend. Now, the third reason as to why this is still not a break is because we don't have a valid break of structure. We don't have a valid break of structure. The first candle, which is this green candle here that printed, did another candle print below that candle? No, it's an inducement, right? A valid break of structure, you're going to have the first candle, which is the inducement. You want to see another candle, whether it's the candle right after. It could be 4, 5, 6, 7 candles after. What you're looking for is for another candle to close below the first candle's wick that gave you the initial push, right? That first candle, you want to see that break below the wick, and you want to make sure that the candle that breaks can't be touching the break of structure line. If the wick is touching it, if the body is touching it, it's still an inducement. If the candle prints and it's not touching the break of structure line and it gives you that valid break, this is where then you'll start looking for that lower high point to then continue down into the lower level. So that's another reason, right? We're not looking for entries here. Me personally, I'm not looking at this as lower low, lower high. First and foremost, because we don't have a valid break. This is still an inducement, right? Then the second reason why is the 800 EMA. Price is still respecting the 800 EMA. Same way that it did here. Same way that it did here. Right? Let's keep going back. Same way that it did here. When price is what? Still on an uptrend. On the 4-hour time frame, remember, we're trading higher high, higher low. Boom, it gave us a higher low on the 800 EMA. Price gave us the higher high. Cool. Then price, what did it do? It came down. It gave us the higher low points. Higher low points, what are they doing? Respecting the 800 EMA. Price came back up and tested the highs. Now remember, this is just internal time frame structure. This is where we start seeing higher highs and higher lows. Right? Boom, boom, boom. What is price doing? Another higher low point. Where? 800 EMA. And again, remember, we still haven't even given an inducement of these highs. Price could still go higher up to these highs, give an inducement, and then start that downtrend push. Right, so I hope that makes sense. And I'm gonna keep this drawing here again for everybody. Oh, he's a hindsight is always easy when you trade in hindsight. All right. You know, go watch the session we did on Friday evening, weekly market breakdown, and then come back to me and let me know if that was just all hindsight trading, everything that we talked about. And then you said looks like price is still consolidating too. Yeah, pretty much, right? Still, since we know these aren't valid breaks, right? We already kind of see that price here is moving sideways as well. Would I mark it as a zone of consolidation? No, but we know what it is, right? We see it. I wouldn't mark it just not to confuse anybody because price technically is still making higher high, higher low, right? Gave us these and then gave us equal highs all around pretty much. So I would just mark it up just easily, just with the trend. And then internally is where I would mark everything else. But overall, yeah, pretty much like what you said, structure is not clean. Right? We have no clean structure. We already know. We already know what's clean and what's not. We got to change, but we don't have a valid break. Cool. Price is still inducing traders. We already know where we're at. We already know what we're looking for. Right? Keep it simple. We know there's only two things price could do here. There's only, again, the market, there's only three things the market could do. Technically two, but three. Why? Either trend or consolidate. There's only two things the market could do. But there's three things, right? Either higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low in an uptrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high on a downtrend, or price is moving sideways. There's only three things the market could do. Either go up, go down, or move sideways. Right? So with that being said, at this point, what are we doing? Nothing. Still moving sideways. Very simple. Trend is your friend. Are we trending? No. Cool. Leave that shit alone. We already know once we start trending overall, once we get the confirmations that we're on that downtrend, we already know we have a gap at the bottom of the market. Price has to come down here. It has to come back. The one thing is, once again, as traders, we don't know when gaps are going to be filled. It could take a couple days. It could take a couple weeks. Sometimes it happens instantly. As soon as the market's open, it'll give you a gap. It'll close it. And then it'll continue the trend, whatever the case is. Same thing with that silver trade from last night. Right? Pair NDTF. I don't speak that, man. What are you talking about? What did you just say in the chat, my brother? And I think that's it, right? Just keep it simple. Same thing we've been talking about for the last couple days, last couple weeks. Again, this is, you guys already see the way I approach the charts, how I maneuver it, right? In the mornings, once you guys see, like, all right, I wake up, open the charts, keep it simple. What has made the move already? What hasn't moved? What's left on the table for us? And again, we already know with that war that we spoke about during Friday's session, we already knew what the deal was. As soon as the market's open, everything is going to move. Everything is going to move. So there was no surprises. We already knew what was gonna happen. It's not the first time we're at war. Right? It's not the first time you look at the charts during situations like this. Same thing with gas prices. Right? Saturday, Sunday, I was looking at the gas prices near my house. It was 268 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm like, can't wait for Monday. From 268, it went through to 321, I think it was, or 319. It was 319 or 321. I don't remember. So it's like, you caught him. And I even said it. I'm like, yo, this gas station is dope. Because before it went to 270, it was first at 290 and they lowered it. On Friday, it was 290. And then Saturday morning, Sunday morning, they lowered it. I'm like, yeah, they're real for that. Because they really could have raised the prices already Friday evening once everything was announced. But they lowered it. But as soon as Monday came, as soon as that 12 a.m. ticker hit, yo, those gas stations went right back up to 320s. So, again, it's the same behavior all around. We already know how this shit works. So, EA, we are currently still marking this up as level 3 on an uptrend, right? Daily time frame, we're still on an uptrend, higher high, higher low, higher high. We're just looking for where that price is going to give us our higher low point. We're reaching the first real point of interest where we're expecting price to give us the pullback, which is the first red candle before the break of structure happened in the overall trend, right? The real break happened here. The last red candle, the last push to the bottom before the break is down here, and you can see that price is almost there, right? It's almost there. The only thing with EA now, well, we have a month, right? And this is pretty close, 76 pips. So we this is the daily time frame, and let's mark this up. Actually, I'm gonna mark up the entirety of the zone here. We're gonna change this to green, right? We know that we have 3 months of drop. After 3 months of drop, we already know the market must move sideways or go up. I'm not expecting price to give us another month. So for the month of March, I'm not expecting price to continue these downtrend pushes. However, the market has time to do something like this to then finish as either a no net and finish somewhere here, or to even go a little bit higher. This is what I could be expecting. Now, let's go down to the lower time frame and let's confirm the bias and give myself the reasoning as to why I'm expecting. So I'm tripping. So number one, you have 2 weeks of drop. After 2 weeks of drop, you're expecting oh, actually, let's confirm once again. We opened with a gap, so I'm lying. We have a week of drop. Last week we have a weekly no net. Right, so the market opened, gave us a crazy gap. We finished the week as a no net. Price is just moving sideways. On the 4-hour time frame, we're also still just trending lower low, lower high into these lower lows. We still don't have a valid lower low point, so we're just gonna keep it like this for now, and we'll update this whenever we have a set low. So whenever price gives us a set low in these areas, we'll see that that's the 4-hour low. When we're looking at the trend again, EA is a very big pair the way that it's marked up, and I don't even know where my 4-hour highs are. My 4-hour highs were up here, so we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us the break here, and after it gave us the break, price just continued to trend lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So I'm still on a point with EA that our 4-hour lows are still not set yet. That's why I've been lowering it, because price is still just trending lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We don't really have a stopping point for EA. So all of this that we see on EA is just the part of the same trend. So all we have on EA is a change of character to the bottom side. Again, just because we have a change doesn't mean that price is going to continue the trend. That's not an indication that the trend has shifted. After the change, we want to see the valid break. We're also reaching, again, like I said, that point of interest as to where we could be expecting this higher low point to be made. So we'll be patient. We'll be patient. EA is looking good. And then for what we had drawn up again, everybody, oh, in hindsight, we've had this drawn up since when? Wednesday of last week. Wednesday of last week. Just want to point that out. I'm a magician, but you know, I don't, or maybe I'm a magician. I don't know. Or maybe the market makers called me and they're like, yo, this is what's gonna happen. Draw it out for everybody. I don't know, yo. Maybe I'm just a nerd, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys. But at this point, I am gonna start deleting my drawings. And again, if you didn't take any screenshots, do that now. Go back to Friday's session. It's uploaded. You guys want to go and get some more information on that. Why did I mark it up like that? All of the reasonings are there. On the 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. Then price gave us lower low. And I'm not gonna. I did mark this up as lower low, lower high, higher high change. And then price gave us an inducement, and it wouldn't matter even if I say all of this because lower low happened. We'd be in the same scenario anyway. So I'm just gonna mark it up like this. Price gave us a change of character to the bottom side. And we're now trading between whatever lows are set down here. So we'll keep this like this. And then the highs we're trading in. I don't want to use the gap, the candle gap, but I'm just going to do it like this. Pretty big zone, but it's all good. As long as it makes sense. We'll be in the same situation. So we'll be patient with EA. Once we start seeing this trend into our side, we'll start looking for those trades. EURUSD, daily time frame. We are in peak high territory, so this is one pair currently I'm not going to be interested in. What did we have here? Why is this marked up? Why was this important for us? So I should label this. It's not even a color that I use, so I don't even know why this is here. Oh, the valid. Nah, I don't know why this is here. I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah. The valid break before the push, the point. So we'll see how price reacts at these lows. Damn, yo. I have so much shit drawn. Let me start deleting. Well, I'm gonna keep this here for now. It's all good. Keep this here for now. Session breaks. Turn that off. Let's add a few lines here. We have 4 weeks where price has been moving sideways, but we open with a gap. I'm gonna keep it as a no net, man. I'm not gonna mark that as a week of drop. This is the opening candle for the week. We also had a inducement of the high. Then price gave us that break below. We have the closing candles. So now we'll mark this up as the high. And my eyes are already dry as fuck. And we don't have no set lows just yet, so we'll keep it how we have it for now. And then on the 30-minute, we have change of character, lower low. And then we were looking for a valid break, and we got the valid break of these lows over here. We're trading the highest point between there and the break. And our lows are not set just yet. We'll wait it out. We'll see what price does. Price also gave us 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up. We know we have this gap at the top of the market. We'll be patient. I like that we're giving those inducements to the lows too. On the 30-minute, we could get away with saying that this is lower low, lower high, lower low technically here. Right, so we could say that this is where price is giving us these lower low points here. Because after that daily inducement that we have, now that we're below it, we induce the lows. This would be the place where we would want to start seeing price give us the higher highs and higher lows that we're looking for. So I'm going to mark this up internally like this on the 30. Good stopping point, good pullback. 3 days of drop makes sense. Still have that gap at the top. We'll be interested on ECAD. We'll keep an eye on it. EURUSD. We know that we are, again, I'm still marking this up as level 2 on an uptrend. I'm not going to say that this is our V2. I'm not going to say that this is the second zone of consolidation just yet. And again, the reasoning as to why I'm not looking at it like that is because price is still technically trending, making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Even though visually it looks like we're in a zone of consolidation because price is moving sideways, right? Compared to when price is trending, right? Price is moving sideways compared to trending. Price is moving sideways compared to trending. But we are still making higher highs, higher lows the entire time. With that being said, market structure, lower time frames, gonna help us out a lot. It's gonna help us out a lot. Right? Overall, the rules that we want to see too, gonna help us out a lot. In order for this to be valid, higher highs and higher lows, in order for us to say that this is a valid higher high point, we're looking for a higher low to continue into a higher high. What did we need to see before that? We needed to see a valid break, especially on the daily time frame. Right? Did we get a valid break of these highs? No. So right now, I'm not confident in saying that these are going to be strong higher low points to continue into a higher high because price never gave us that valid break of structure that we wanted to see. With that being said, I'm being very cautious with EU. What I'm trading on EU are going to be continuations. Right? If we have 2 weeks of drop, expect the third week. If we have 2 days of rise, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks of rise, expect the third week. If we have 2 days of rise, expect the third day. If we see on the 30-minute that price is giving us a change of character, break of structure back to the top side, right? Gonna be a little bit more confident in that trade once we have the continuations, right? Those are the continuation trades. Right now, what do we have? We had a day of rise on Friday. Monday, price gave us a second day dude, I'm tripping today. What? Price gave us a day of drop. The market opened, gave us a 30-minute gap at the top. So again, right now as a trader, we understand price has to come back up. It has to come back up and fill the gap at the top side. However, the question that we have, which is unanswered because we don't have the answer to this, when is price going to fill the gap? Again, gaps are sometimes filled instantly. As soon as the market opens, it'll open a gap, it'll fill it right away, and then it'll continue the trend. Sometimes it'll take a few days, sometimes it'll take a few hours, sometimes it'll take a few weeks, a few months, a few years. We've seen that happen. So we don't know when that gap will be filled. So that's why I'm not sitting here saying, guys, the gap is going to be filled this week, we're going to go and take it. No. It's the same reasonings every single time. It doesn't matter what the entry model is and what our exit strategy is and where we're looking for price to go. Everything is the same. Before I take a trade, the first things first. Are we trending in the same way that we want to take the trade? If you want to take a buy position, Should price be making lower lows and lower highs, or should price be making higher highs and higher lows? First thing is first. If you're looking to get into a buy position, you want to see price making higher highs and higher lows. You want to see price be on an uptrend before you take that entry. Because if you take a buy position when price is making lower lows and lower highs, what do you think is going to happen? Straight to stop loss. Straight to stop loss. With that being said, it's going to be simple. Right now, same situation as EURUSD. Could we technically currently say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low? In this particular case, I wouldn't mark this as lower low, lower high, lower low. I would mark this as part of the same trend. We're trading lower low, lower high, boom, lower low at these lows. Now the internal time frame, once you go down into the 5-minute or the 1-minute time frame, then yes, I would mark this as lower low, lower high, possibly even lower low, lower high, lower low. And this is where on the 5-minute time frame, 1-minute time frame, we go down to the 5-minute or the 1-minute, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And we know price hasn't broken these lows, it hasn't broken these highs. This is where we'd be expecting price to give us either, at this point, change of character, break of structure, take the trade after the break to continue that push back to the top side. Especially, let's say the break of structure happens above here. We have clean traffic all the way back to the top before getting to the 30-minute gap. Look at ADR. Keep that in mind. Should I keep this drawn out here, man? I don't know, man. You guys are going to say that I'm the market maker and then the internet's going to go crazy. And they're going to say that I'm cheating the system or something. Right? So we'll be patient. Or vice versa. Price could continue the downtrend push and we'll continue to see lower lows and lower highs. Does that matter to me? No. Don't really care. Why? Because I'm only looking for buy positions. I don't care for counter trending, like made believe numbers. I don't care about that. I'm trading with the trend, with the overall trend. Once we see that price is ready to start uptrending, then I'll start taking those trades. EA, I'm gonna update the chart tomorrow morning, instead of doing it now. So we'll wait for EU to develop a little bit more before I place my 30-minute highs and lows. Give me 1 second, team. That's crazy, Kendo. How about she got breaking news, man? Shit's crazy. Jason Anderson retiring indefinitely. Yo, what are you on about, Kendall? What the? Oh, I forgot my table was where I just put my phone there. Gosh darn it. All right. So with sorry, give me 1 second. I just fucked up. There's a chat. Okay, cool. GA. All right, I'm gonna start speeding up now, guys. Pretty much the last pair of the night is GU. Again, US 30, gold, Bitcoin, oil, silver. Will update them, but I'm not gonna really talk about them. I'm not gonna do my breakdowns on them. Those are usually pairs we've talked about it before. That those are gonna be pairs that I'm strictly going to speak about and do my full analysis on when I wake up in the morning and turn the sessions for the live trading sessions. Obviously, if there's anything left on the table for us to trade, if there's nothing to trade, then I obviously don't turn the stream on. But in the mornings, if I look at the charts and I see that there's something to work with, I'll turn the stream on. We'll do the live trading session in the morning. We'll talk about specifically, obviously, the pairs that are left to trade, and then we'll also update our US 30, gold, Bitcoin, oil, and silver trade, or our silver charts in the morning in the trading session. So again, if you guys have any questions, use this time now. Ask those questions, and if not, then again, for the ones watching the recording, you could always leave the questions in the comment section. You could always hit me up on Discord. I'll give you guys a minute here on the stream, and then we will continue. And again, I'm gonna start speeding up for these last 4 or 5 pairs that we have. So we'll be done in the next 5 to 10 minutes. GA, we could skip over. This is still a pair specifically, not going to be trading. So technically, we only got 3 trades left. We only got 3 pairs left. The other ones are going to be quick. The last 5 on our list are going to be super quick. All right, no questions. Perfect. So GA, we're in peak high territory. This is a pair. This is a specific pair right now that I am not trading. I'm giving it a little bit more time before I decide what it is that we're going to do with this. Right? 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, the market must move sideways or go down, or move sideways or go up. It moves sideways. Perfect. Our 4-hour lows, we still don't have any set 4-hour lows just yet, but we have this here, so I'm just going to update it. 30-minute time frame. Again, just keeping the chart fresh, even though I'm not trading it, we're keeping it fresh. We have 4 days of drop. The market opened with a gap. Gaps in the market, reset the trend. Perfect. You already know. Price is doing exactly what it needs to do, guys. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. All right, so we're trading between here. Again, that gap, man, I don't like putting my highs with gaps, but we'll do what we got to do, and we're pretty much just sideways movement. We're pretty much moving in sideways movement. Excuse me. In this area, right? Rejecting lows. Price is closing in the same areas. So GA we're gonna skip. GCAD, take a look. GCAD, we are in the zone of consolidation. So currently right now, price came back to the lows. Could be a good area to start looking for trades now for GCAD to continue these uptrend pushes. GCAD could be a good one to keep an eye on. You have 2 weeks of drop, market open, gave us that 3rd week low, went back to the 4-hour lows, gave us the inducement of the 4-hour low. This is where I would love to start seeing price making higher highs and higher lows. Market opened for the week, gave us that gap at the top of the market. We had 2 days of drop, price gave us that 3rd day low. But since this is a pair in an overall uptrend, we're not going to mark this as a drop rise. This is just day of rise. 30-minute time frame. This is another pair that we were in a huge zone of consolidation, and price finally gave us the change of character. It gave us a break at the lows. Once again, this is, well, price then came back up, came back down, so technically we do have a valid break, right? But price already gave us the inducement of the 4-hour low, right? So we're trading between those huge, that fucking 30-minute high all the way at the top side, these 30-minute lows here. So let me just make this box smaller at this point. trading between these 30-minute lows and those huge ass 30-minute highs all the way at the top. It's alright, bro. We'll wait. And we still got that gap at the top, so we'll be patient. GJ. All right, so we had again the change of character. We also have a shoulder to shoulder. Told you guys what are we looking for? Valid break of the lows. Got a valid break? No. That being said, we had a gap. Not a valid break. I'm not gonna mark this as a valid break. No way. But that being said, after it gave us the inducement, what do we see price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, boom, high on the lower time frame. Change of character, break of structure, gave us a little flag post pattern, 23.6, 38.2 retracement. You already know the deal. Price to do what? Continue the uptrend. Perfect. Perfect. Price doing exactly what we talked about. Exactly what we talked about. Go back to Friday's session. Go let me know if I was wrong. Please. We have a week of rise still. Perfect. 4-hour daily time frame still moving up. Daily time frame still moving up. 4-hour time frame gave us a change of character. Lower low point, zone consolidation, break, retest to continue. Simple. Again, just keeping an eye on structure. Now we wait for the confirmations. That's all we could do. At this point, I kind of want to mark this as lower low, lower high. Right? The lower lows were made here, and then on the 30 we have a change of character. But again, I also don't really want to mark this as I'm gonna keep it like this for now. We'll see what price does. I'll let the market just fix itself for a little bit. Anything that has to at this point, what I'm doing with the charts too, if you guys noticed, and it's not with a lot of the pairs. A lot of pairs don't look that ugly, but the pairs that kinda look ugly and have me questioning what I want to do with my markups, you're seeing that I'm just letting them go. You're seeing that I'm just gonna let price do what it has to do for now, clear up just a little bit before I take a trade. Why? As a trader, once again, if I have to question a specific pair, I'm not gonna trade it. Why? Because if I'm not 100% sure as to what I want to mark and how I want to mark it, when I'm on the charts trading live, how am I gonna know what I want to trade? I'm just gonna take a 50-50 guess. Fuck it. This is what I feel for today, so I'm gonna take it. No, it doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. For me. Again, for me personally, it doesn't work that way. That being said, if I have to question a specific pair and what it's doing, and why is it doing this, and where am I gonna mark the breaks, and we have these gaps, and price still hasn't filled them, and there's too many things going on at once, I'm gonna just let price move. I'm gonna let price do what it has to do. Once we clear up just a little bit, all right, yo, then I'll go ahead. I'll be back on the saddle. I'll go back and start taking those trades. Right, GU still making lower lows and lower highs. We still got that gap at the top of the market. Cool, no problem. But we're still making lower lows and lower highs. So we want to be patient. Be patient with GU. Pretty much same situation as EU. You know, do we say that this is the second zone of consolidation where price moving sideways? This one looks like a little bit better of a zone of consolidation. Why? Because we could see price low, high, back to the lows, back to the highs. This doesn't have a trend the same way that EU has a trend. right? At one point it did higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then what happened? Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. That's sideways movement. Prices rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time. So again, very simple. Are we trending or are we consolidating? We're consolidating. Price is at the middle of the zone of consolidation. What do we know about the middle of the zone of consolidation? This is the area where the market makers are heavily inducing traders, trapping traders, hunting for stop losses. You already know where you're at. You already know the definition of where you're at. You already know the behaviors of how the market reacts in the area that you're trading in. Once you have all of that information, you already know what to do. Stay the fuck away. Unless something is crystal clear. Nothing is crystal clear right now. The only thing we have that's a confirmation that we know price has to come back up eventually is knowing that price has to fill the gap. That's it. Do we have any internal higher highs, higher lows? No. Price is still lower low, lower high, lower low on the internal time frame. Right? 5-minute time frame. What are we doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Cool. We're still on a downtrend. There's no indication that price is gonna start going up now. I have no confirmation. Price bounce off to 200 on the daily too. Right. We're on that 200 EMA. Right. If this would be happening on EU, which we don't have, EU would be a very simple, this would be a little bit more of a confirmation like, yeah, we're 100% going to continue that uptrend push. Right? Which we're doing it on GU to continue to say that we're in level 2, but once again, the fact that we're not making higher highs and higher lows anymore makes me believe that this is level 2. This is the second zone of consolidation and we're in level 3. Right? So this is where this is, again, another reason as to why, and that's the first reason as to why, like this pair right now, I'm taking it easy. And I'm just waiting for the valid confirmations. Because if this is still level 2, and that daily exhaustion candle that printed and this 4-hour exhaustion candle that's printed, right? Cool. We have those kind of confirmations to let us know, okay, maybe we are still on an uptrend, right? But right now in the 30-minute time frame and lower, it's still, I'm not convinced that this is still level 2 on an uptrend. So I just want to take it easy. We're in the middle of the zone of consolidation. This is where the market makers are trapping traders. I'm gonna back off from it just a little bit, right? And then here on the 30-minute, we could see a potential engulfing candle being printed as well. And there was 2 exhaustion candles, or I'm sorry, engulfing candles. Bearish before the market closed, that price tapped into, and then now, at 2 hours after the market's open, we have another engulfing candle potentially being printed in the next minute, 38 seconds. So what do we know? Again, where are we? In the middle of the zone of consolidation. This is where the market makers are going to be trapping traders. Every single trader, doesn't matter what you trade. You trade double bottoms, you're in a trade. Right? You trade engulfing candles, you're in a trade going short. You have another engulfing candle maybe being printed here. In this one tiny area, you have buyers and sellers already getting into a trade. In the same exact spot, you have buyers and you have sellers. Right, you have the buyers who get in. We got the break and the retest of the neckline. You have the engulfing candle entry here. Right, if you go down to the lower time frame, you'll have a double bottom. If you go to the 15 or the 5-minute, let's see, or double top. Sorry, maybe not. Price move really quick. Look at this in the 1 minute. Yeah, we could get away with it. Right. So in this one little area, you have confirmations for 3 different entries. So I'm chilling. Personally, me, I'm okay. You got 15 seconds. Let's see if we got the engulfing candle. Got the engulfer. Now these last couple pairs, I'm gonna just do this real quick on the 30. If I need to go down to a higher time frame, then we will. But I'll update these in the morning. So 30-minute, we have another lower low, lower high, lower low point. So I'm gonna mark this as the lower low. Gap has been filled. Gold gave us a day of no nut, and I'm pretty sure we need a 4-hour high or something. Gap was also filled. We're on the daily highs. Okay, cool. Bitcoin, damn, Bitcoin moved like crazy today. Let's update Bitcoin real quick. Day of drop. Gave us a third day drop rise. Gave us a drop. Gave us a rise. And huge zone of consolidation for Bitcoin as well. Oil gave us no net day, just moving sideways. Price still making higher high, higher low. Then gave us higher high, higher low, higher high. Then gave us the lower low change of character. Then gave us the change of character, higher high, higher low. Gave us a higher high all the way to the top. We're in a weird zone, weird area for oil. We'll let price do what he got to do. And then silver. Yo, Kendall couldn't believe the trade I took on silver, being a little ballsy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to go over the trade on the stream, bro. As a matter of fact, I'll send you a video. I'm not gonna do that to everybody. Everybody's gonna be mad confused, and then they're gonna try to take the same trade. It was a very aggressive trade. I'm not going over that on the stream. As a matter of fact, thinking about it now, I was like, nah. That's why I didn't even post it in the chat. That's why I didn't even post that shit in the chat. But to keep it simple, again, is a very, very simple trade. Lower time frame, you got the inducement. After you got the inducement, what you have right below the inducement, you had the gap. Price filled the gap on the market. Here on TradingView, you won't see it because FXCM was down last night, so the charts on TradingView weren't even active. I was on TradeLocker doing that. Continuing the trend, gave us the bounce off the 50 on or around it. We had the gap, filled the gap, 5-minute inducement to go back to the highs was what I was targeting. I didn't place my TP. I woke up. It was a good thing I woke up. I woke up at around like 5:30. I was like, oh shit, I gotta check the trade. And I see, and I could have capitalized like completely on it if I would have just put my TP. But I was like, I want to wake up and see what it does. So I took the trade, literally went straight to bed, and then I woke up and I cashed out when I started seeing that price was giving us these crazy exhaustion candles up. I was like, all right, cool, that's it, we're done. So that's all it was. It was a very, very, very simple trade. Very simple trade. There's nothing out of this world, but I'm not gonna do like a full breakdown and shit because I already know motherfuckers are gonna be like, oh, well, that's the trade we gotta take. I'm gonna wait for the market to open and we're gonna do the same thing. Nah, don't do that. Again, I rarely trade Asia session. Very rarely, like very, very, very rarely. And again, the reason why I already know, based on my back testing, based on how I used to trade, based on the years of data that I have trading, and he could tell you, every single fucking time I take a loss, a stupid ass loss too, is trading one Asia session. I'm done trading Asia, yo. I haven't traded Asia session in like 3 years. I'm saying like consistently where like I'm on the charts and I'm trading Asia. I don't do that. It's been since we started streaming on YouTube, which was what, 2023, 24. So for the last couple years now, I've consistently not traded Asia session. We update our charts and that's all I do. As soon as I'm done here, yo, I turn this shit off I go to sleep, and then I wake up in the morning for the live trading session. I do not look at my charts. As soon as I'm done updating this shit, I'm done. I don't trade Asia. I trade London, the end of London going into the NYC session. But trading Asia, I'm good. I'm good. Especially, I will also say this. Especially US 30, it's an NYC pair. I'm not trading an NYC pair. US 30, I'm not trading that Asia or London session. Doesn't even make sense. Right? Now, silver and gold, we know those are pairs that, especially for the last 4 months or more than that, for the last 6, 7 months, price has just been moving as soon as the market's open. Right? That's not a usual behavior for these type of pairs, for gold and silver. It's not a usual behavior. Usually gold and silver, they move very similar to how US 30 moves. Not in the direction, similar in the cycle that it has, where it'll give us like a little zone of consolidation. Asia, London, give us the breakout, the end of London or the middle of London, right? And give us a nice little type 1, type 2, or type 3 pattern, right? US 30 is very infamous for giving us those entries. That's why I love trading US 30. Right? But as of recent times, the past few months, wow. The past few months, gold and silver and oil have just been, as soon as the markets open, it's either skyrocketing or going to hell. There's no in between. As soon as the markets open. So, just gonna be patient. Right? Again, there is no reason for me to chase these trades. There's no reason for me to feel like I'm missing out. I don't care. It's all good. We'll find the trade. We'll find the trade. That's pretty much it, guys. Any other questions? Anything else you want me to go over? Anything you want me to talk about? If not, that's it for the night, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning. If there's anything to trade in the morning, we'll be live. E flies in tomorrow as well. I think he lands at like 3 or something. So I'll pick him up, and then maybe he'll make a guest appearance in tomorrow's isolation session. Maybe. Let's see if he's down for that. Yeah, you guys like the banner? It looked cool. I bought curtains finally for my windows. So now in the morning, I don't, the sun's not gonna be fucking beaming in my face. Um, my room looks like a real bat cave now, which I fucking love. But as I've gotten older, I kind of like the light a little bit more now. I've never, I'm talking about since the day I was born. I remember the first thing I said is, yo, why are the lights on? I remember this shit crystal clear. Like, yo, as soon as I came out, I was a C-section. As soon as they pulled me out, was I a C-section? I don't know. I think I was. As a matter of fact, I had to have been 100%. As soon as they cut open and I came out, oh man, I was like, turn the fucking lights off. The shit with wanting light this, like 2025, I was like, wow, I do not like being in the dark that much anymore. I think I get scared. There's like little ghosts running around and shit. Might be the reason why. But I got blacked out curtains, and we installed them today, and they look nice. They look fabulous. But I'm gonna have to get some yo, spit it out, man. I'm gonna have to get some LED lights or something. I would love to get some LED lights. I don't really like lamps. That shit's crazy to me. I for some reason I do not like lamps. Too much shit clustered around the room. Room is not that big. I would either get. I'm thinking about getting either just straight LED lights, the strips again, like I had it in my fucking apartment when I was in college. Just get the fucking LED strips and put them in the around the borders of the ceiling. Or I saw something like a chandelier, like an LED bar chandelier, and just putting that shit up on the ceiling. But I don't know. I think I like I don't really mind the strips. I'm gonna be honest. Really don't mind the strips. I might have to just go get the strips. It's not like I'm gonna put it around the whole border of the room. I was thinking about just doing it like around the setup, just putting it on the ceiling here around the setup, and just leave it like that, not have it around the whole room. Like pretty much from this corner here, you guys won't be able to see it, but like pretty much the left side of the banner, that side up until probably where my whiteboard is. You guys can see the whiteboard. You guys can see a piece of the whiteboard. I'll probably have it like a piece of the whiteboard. Then that way this space could be illuminated. At night. At night, I don't care about having the light on. In the morning, definitely not. Yo, I'm still giving my darkness for as long as I can in the morning. But once I'm awake, I'm awake. I can't be in the dark for that long anymore. I'm not used to it. I haven't played COD in 3 months, man. I'm not a gamer no more. Can't be in a room full of darkness all day. And what else am I missing? There's a few more things I'm missing that I gotta buy. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have everything set already in my room, bro. It was crazy though. Finally home, man. Finally. All right, no more questions. See you guys tomorrow, guys. Peace out. Have a good night.